All right, class, so I put together a math problem on the board. I want you to take a look at it and figure out your answer in your head, and when you are finished, raise your hand so I know you're ready.
Before we begin the video, what are some pre-existing beliefs about asking your students metacognitive questions? What do you know about metacognition? What metacognitive aspects do you add in your classroom already? Take a moment to pause the video and write down your reflective answers.
4 times 2. Elizabeth, what is your answer?
I got 8.
How did you get that answer?
Well, I know that multiplication is the grouping of multiple amounts of the same number, so I thought of 2 groups of 4. Then I performed 4 plus 4, and that equals 8.
Very good. What strategy did you use?
I drew 2 groups of 4 dots and added them together.
Awesome job.
For gifted learners, it is important to challenge them by furthering their strategy application. Differentiation is a critical component to asking metacognitive questions to each student in the classroom. The following example illustrates challenging accelerated or gifted learners in the classroom.
Right, now, Elizabeth, so if I give you a different problem, let's say 5 times 5, did you go about doing this problem using your same strategy or a different strategy?
I would use a different strategy because drawing 25 dots would take a long time, so I would count by 5s using 5 fingers, and that answer is 25.
Very good.
The following example will illustrate how to metacognitively help struggling learners in the classroom. Before we begin, take a moment to pause the video and reflect on the following question. Why is metacognitive awareness so important for your struggling learners?
I'm going to give you a math problem on the board. I want you to take a second, look at it, think of your answer, and then we will share our answers. So my problem is 4 times 2. I'll give you a second to think about it. So, Elizabeth, how are you getting your answer?
So I remember that 4 times 2 equals 8.
You just remember it?
Yeah.
By bringing awareness to how the student solved a problem, the teacher realized that the student had simply memorized the multiplication fact instead of truly knowing how to solve the problem. Pause the video and reflect on how you might bring awareness of new strategies to this struggling learner.
Okay,
I just memorized.
so I saw you using your fingers quite a bit. Let's look at it this way. So 8 is correct, but let me show you a different way to do it. So if we look at 4, let's use the fact 2 times 2. Now if you look, what is the difference between my 2 and my 4? What's the pattern you see?
It doubled.
It doubled, didn't it? So 2 times 2 is 4. So if we want to do 4 times 2, we would
Double it.
double your answer, yes. So then you would end up with 4 times 2 equals 8. Now that's a different way to look at it compared to sitting there counting on your fingers, which might take you a long time and you may eventually run out of fingers.
This teacher guided the student to think about the strategy behind the multiplication problem rather than allowing the student to simply memorize the fact. After watching the video, what are some ways that you could metacognitively challenge gifted learners in your classroom? What are some ways that metacognition could better serve your struggling learners? Attached to the video is a downloadable PDF guide to metacognitive questions that may better help you serve your students.